Welcome to the Travels with Kev podcast. I am Kev, and I am here to get you on track to travel, whether you're a beginner traveler just starting out or an intermediate traveler who just needs to fill in a few gaps. I am here to help you get started. So let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is from a webpage that I wrote a while ago, recently updated it, and it's about the top 21 questions that I often get asked about rooms on Amtrak trains. So I thought I would share that with you today. Like I said, the article has just been updated. So let's just get started. First off, we're going to start with some terms that you should know. This will help you not only with this podcast, but if you're starting to go through the Amtrak website, it will help you understand what's going on. So accommodation for this podcast and for the article, accommodations are any room within a sleeping car. The accessible room, this is a room for those with limited mobilities and their helper. A bedroom, this room offers the most space in a sleeping car. It has a sofa, chair, sink, and a bathroom shower combo. Car attendant, it's an Amtrak employee whose job is to assist you while traveling in the sleeping car. The car attendant replaces the term porter, just as an update of terms for us. Family room, these are rooms on only Superliner trains. And they're designed for 2 adults or 2 tiny humans or whatever combination that you can come up with. But basically for no more than 2 people who are of average height. There are beds for smaller people. By smaller people, I mean kids. Roomettes. This is the smallest of Amtrak's accommodations. It is comfortable for 1 and cozy for 2. These rooms have 2 chairs that fold into a bed and an upper pull-down bed, too. There's also either a place to hang clothes or a closet, a table, and a few other amenities. A sleeping car. That's basically what we're talking about. It's a passenger rail car containing roomettes, bedrooms, the accessible place room, and on Superliner trains, they have the family room. The Superliner trains, we're almost done with terms, then we'll get into the good stuff. Superliner trains are the 2-level or bi-level trains that are on long-distance routes that do not go into New York Penn Station. Viewliners are the single-level long-distance train sets found on East Coast trains or those that go in or out of New York. Okay, so let's get into this stuff you want to know. So question 1, these are actually in no particular order. What are the advantages of booking rooms on Amtrak trains? The first thing I would say is privacy. All the rooms have doors with drapes, so if you just want to be by yourself, you can certainly do that. It also is quieter, and people aren't going to bother you as much as if you were in coach. The second one is one of my favorites. You can sleep horizontally. As I said before, the lower seats turn into a bed, and your travel companion can use the upper bunk or the other way around. Just as a note, the person on the upper bunk does need to crawl up some stairs or ladder. Thirdly, I like that word for some odd reason, there are showers. There's showers for everyone to use, every sleeping car passenger to use. Passengers in bedrooms do have a shower bedroom combo. It's a small room. I'll kind of get into some of this stuff a little bit later when it comes into size. And you can use the lounge. Your sleeper ticket allows you to use either the Metropolitan lounges or the Club Acellas at certain stations for free. Question number 2, where can you book a room for an Amtrak train? You can do over the phone is fast and easy. It's at least easy. You can call Amtrak at 1-800-USA-RAIL. That's 1-800-USA-RAIL. The phone agents can help you book a new reservation or modify an existing one, including updating coach seats to a sleeper. They can also answer some questions if I haven't answered them for you, or if you have some very specific ones. Agents can help book rooms together. For example, if you want to get 2 roomettes across from each other or near each other, they can do that. Or there is a bedroom suite, and you need to call or go into the next point of a staff station to accommodate that. Station, you can. So the next one, as I was awkwardly alluding to is a staff station. These are stations where ticket agents can do the same thing as over the phone, but in person. If you're new to train travel, a trip to a staff station is an excellent opportunity to get to know the station, parking, and what's around before your first trip. Now, if you're an old pro or you're just booking 2 people in one room, and this article or Travels with Kev has answered all your questions for you, you can always use the Amtrak app or website. Online tickets are an easy way to book your next adventure anywhere and anytime. Plus, you can modify your trip on many trips, not necessarily all trips. There's a few reasons when you can't. The last option is you can use a travel agent. There are some authorized, or there is an authorized travel agent with Amtrak. It's called Amtrak Vacations. You can go on their site. They'll put a package together for you. There are other places out there that they do specialize in rail vacation. So if you're looking for a rail vacation and not just a train ride, that might be a good option to look. Question number 3, are rooms priced per person or per couple? And couple in the loose term of travel companions. What you see, if you put in, if you're looking at booking a trip and you put in 2 people, the price that you see on the screen for a roomette or a bedroom is for everybody involved. Amtrak does not. I know, like some airlines, I believe most airlines, the price that you see is an individual price. So if you wanted to book a flight from Milwaukee to Tampa and it said it was $150, that's $150 per person. But with Amtrak, that price is for that travel party. So if you want to break that down, you need to do your own math. Number 4, how do discounts work on Amtrak? There are several different discounts available. If you're part of the Rail Passenger Association, you get 10% off. Seniors, kids, military, a few others. But they do work a little different than what people think. Part of your ticket, if you're booking a room, is rail fare, and that's just basically paying to be on the train, and the other part is for the room. Often, unless you're running a promotion, the discount only comes off the rail fare. So this is completely hypothetical. So let's say a room costs $200 and the room fare is $100. So for a solo traveler, the total cost of the room is $300, and that's what's on the screen. So if 2 people were traveling, it would be $400. And like I said, that's the price on the screen. So if a solo traveler qualifies for an Amtrak discount, the price is now $290 because the reduction comes off the rail fare and not the room price. So in this scenario, a parent and a child would cost $350 because a child between 2 and 12 pays half. They probably don't pay at all. It's probably the parent pays. Anyway, getting off on a tangent. So I hope that works. So basically, discounts only come off the rail fare portion of the ticket, and often you don't know what the breakdown is until you get your receipt. And I did want to back up a little bit when talking about booking a train. After you book and your credit card's processed, Amtrak will then email you your ticket. Or if you go to a staff station, you will leave with a paper ticket, and I believe you can still ask them to also email your ticket. I'm not always a belt and suspenders type of guy, but I am when it comes to tickets because I'm really good at losing stuff. And that moves into question number 5. When do I get my room assignment? Amtrak assigns room numbers as soon as your transaction goes through. You will either get a number or letter. Numbers are for all rooms except for, if I remember right, the accessible room, that's room H, and then all bedrooms are lettered. So as soon as you get your email ticket, or if you look in the app, you will see, and as your ticket will also show you what kind of room or what kind of car it has. So let's say you're going from Chicago to Charleston, South Carolina. You're going to take the Capital Limited to the Silver Meteor. When you got the email ticket, or when the email ticket arrives, it will show that your first train is a Superliner. And for example, you're in the 3000 car, and you have room number 2. So that would be the room right across from the attendant's room. And then let's just say your next train is a Silver Meteor, and that is a Viewliner train. And let's say you're on 9710 in room 6. So it will tell you what kind of equipment you'll be in, and also to the car number and the room number. And that is also in the app. That is a new update that has happened more recently, which really helps if you want to go paperless. Number 6, what comes with your Amtrak room? All scheduled meals come with your sleeping car accommodations. And what I mean by that is you don't get necessarily rooms at any time. So if you get on the train at 1 o'clock in the morning, your next meal will be breakfast. So whatever meals would typically be scheduled during your time on the train, that is what you get. If the train happens to be running late and you are normally only supposed to get, let's say you're going from Omaha to Chicago, you get breakfast a little bit after you get on the train, and then you get lunch. And let's say the train is running way late, and you're getting in at 7 o'clock at night, you would also then get dinner. So they accommodate the rooms that would they accommodate the meals that you would typically get during those times. I hope that made sense. You get coffee and juice in the morning. As I said before, you get showers, turn-down service. There's a little more on showers a little bit later on. A place to hang up some clothing, either a small closet or a hook. Comfortable chairs with a fold-out table. Bigger rooms have a sofa. You have large windows to watch the country go by. The use of a lounge and dining cars or sleeping lounges, depending on what train you have. You get a few additional lights, such as a night light and reading lamps. Plus, you get at least one 3-prong, a.k.a. a grounded outlet. There are a few other things that you do get, too. Like I said, some personal service and your privacy. And for me, I just get to be in my happy place. Question number 7. Will I share a room with a stranger? No. The only passengers in your room are the people who are on your ticket. So if you booked a room solo, you will not have a roommate. The only way you'll have a stranger in your room is if you book a ticket with one. Not recommended. All right, going to question 8, but back to a concept from before of how big are Amtrak rooms. So a train is only so big, and so they can only fit so much comfort and size to try to get the most out of the space that they do have. So rooms are small and cozy, kind of like an RV. A roomette, on average, are about 3.5 feet by 6.5 feet. Viewliner roomettes are a little bit larger. I'm about 6'2", about 200 pounds, and I fit comfortably in these rooms. Bedrooms are about 6.5 feet by 7.5 feet. So you can see they take up, or you get a lot more room, but the shower and bathroom does take up some space. With the family room on the lower level, you get the whole width of the train by, I think it's 6 feet. I'm not sure. I forgot to put that one in the article. So Amtrak does make the most of this small space. But like I said, it can be a little tight. Bathrooms are not overly spacious, but it's enough to get the job done. Question 9. Beds. Are they comfortable? And how are they made? For me, the beds are comfortable, but your mileage may vary. If you have a specialized bed at home, or you're the princess who can feel the pee under 9 mattresses, that may be an issue for you, but for me, I have found them to be comfortable for 1 or 2 nights of sleeping. All rooms on the train have bunk beds. The lower bed consists of 2 seats pulled together, or the sofa that gets flattened in the bedroom or family room, with a mattress put on top. The upper bunk pulls down with safety straps to keep you in. Like I said before, if 2 people are sharing a room, one person needs to be able to climb up to the top bed. Roomettes have steps to get up there, while bedrooms and I believe the family room have ladders. Your attendant will make up your bed for you at night and put it away in the morning. The one question that might be kind of in the back of your head right now is, will the net actually prevent me from falling out of the top bunk? Yes. Yes, it will. And no, I have never fallen out of the bed on a train. Question 10, sticking with the sleeping, is it hard to sleep on the train? To be honest with you, I tend to sleep well on the train, especially on the second day, or if I'm just taking a traincation where the whole goal of the trip is to ride the train. I tend to sleep better, like I said, after the first day. But sometimes I do use a sleep aid like melatonin or something. For me, the train's motion relaxes me. And sometimes I wake up when the train stops because I guess my body misses the motion or whatever. And the horn, for me, lulls me to sleep. I know that's not the truth for everybody. If you need perfect silence, you may struggle. A set of earplugs may help. There is always ambient noise from the train. Is ambient the right word? The train's always going to make noise. Either, the air conditioners or the heating system, people walking outside your room, the bells from going over gates, or if you hit a switches directs the train to go into certain tracks. So there's always going to be noise on a train. So if you need it perfectly quiet, either you might struggle with this and just be cognizant of it, or a good set of earphones. There are sleep earphones that could help drown out that noise, or a good set of earplugs. Conductors will stop making announcements after 10 p.m. and they start back up at 7. So there's not announcements during the middle of the night. And if you are getting off the train early in the morning or late at night, either the conductor or the sleeper car attendant will knock on your door 15 to 30 minutes ahead of time so you can get your stuff ready and so you don't disturb too many other passengers. Question number 11, how to get around the train once on board. So one thing people sometimes forget obviously people can see that trains are linear, so one train car is in front of the other. But that also means that you could have to walk through several cars to get to where you need to go. So, for example, if you are in the Empire Builder in the Portland section, you have to walk through several cars to get to the dining car. And so if you're in a Superliner train, those are the two-story ones, you need to be on the upstairs to go between cars. So if you are in roomette 12, 13... So if you're in roomette 14, 13, 12, or 11, those are all in the lower level, or in the family room, so you need to go upstairs so you can go to another car. If you need to get off the train, you need to be on the lower level. On Viewliner trains, they're all a single level, so you just keep walking till you get to the car that you need to. Just remember the train's moving when you're going down the track, so make sure you can hold on to other things. They do sway. When going between cars, there's a button, one or two buttons on each door that say press. Just hit that with either your hand or your foot, and that will open up the sliding door. When you're going between cars, grab the candy cane striped handles, and if it is raining or snowing, water can get in between cars, making it a little bit slippery. So always travel with a good pair of shoes and always wear them when walking around the train. Number 12, can I hop on and off the train during my trip? Yes and no. There are certain stops that are called fresh air breaks, used to be called smoke stops, and that is usually during crew changes and refueling stops. There are a few other times, especially if there is check bags service at a stop. You can usually get off the train. They are sometimes very quick, so if you are a smoker, you might not get a full cigarette done, but there are stops where you can get off the train and stretch your legs for a little bit. Just remember that the train can and will leave without you if you do not get back on time. So always stay train side. Often they remind people do not go into the station because you can lose track of time and get left behind. I saw that happen once. They actually stopped a train so somebody could get back on. A few other things. If a train happens to get in really early to a station stop, and that happens from time to time, often they'll let people get off and walk outside the train. What you can't do is, for example, if you're taking the California Zephyr between Chicago and Emeryville / San Francisco, and you wanted to get off in Denver for the day, you would have to book a different train then. So you can't see Denver and then get back on the train. All right, what are my food options on the train? Great question. Everybody likes to eat. And recently, so I'm recording this in August of 2022, Amtrak just upgraded their menu selections for their cafe cars. So every long-distance train has a cafe car that is open to both coach and sleeping passengers. The cafe car is open through most of your journey. It usually closes at night, and for attendance breaks, often you can still sit in the cafe car then. On any one-night train, so that would be the Texas Eagle between Chicago and San Antonio, the City of New Orleans, Lakeshore Limited, Capital Limited, Cardinal, Silver Meteor, and Silver Star. I think I got them all. You get Amtrak's Flex or Contemporary Dining. And then if you are in any of the other trains, mostly the Western long-distance trains and the auto train, you get traditional dining. Traditional dining is the meals are prepared for you by chefs, usually on the lower level of the train. Flex dining are prep meals that are warmed for you. You can have your meals brought to your room, or you can eat in the dining car or the sleeper lounge. The sleeper lounge is basically converted dining cars on the single night trains. If you're taking the Texas Eagle between Chicago and LA, between Chicago and San Antonio, you will get flex dining, and between San Antonio and LA, you will get traditional dining. Just a little tidbit. Number 14, can I drink on the train? Yes, you can, and I often do. And on a lot of trains, your first one is on Amtrak with your meals. Now, there is some things you should know. Amtrak does sell adult beverages in the cafe car and dining cars, and you can bring your own. If you bring your own, you must only consume what you brought in your room or in the room of another passenger if you're traveling with a friend or you met somebody on the train. Do not take your fun water to the other cars, so you cannot bring your stash into the observation car. The next station stop might be your stop if you consume too much and get out of hand. Plus, you could get local and federal fines, and the police could take you to their local Iron Bar Hotel, a.k.a. you could get arrested. If you get kicked off the train, you forfeit any refund on the trip. So have fun, but don't have too much fun. Just a little clarification, if you are in coach, which I doubt you would be listening to this podcast, but if you do have a coach seat, or maybe you're on a regional train, you cannot consume your own alcohol in coach, whether it's a regional or long-distance train. So maybe that is a valuable tidbit, even if you are in a sleeper. For me, my first train on any Amtrak trip is always a regional train. How many bathrooms are in a sleeping car? Well, if you have a bedroom, there is one in your room. So there's that. On Superliner trains, there is one restroom upstairs plus at least 2 to 3 more on the lower level. Viewliners, so this is going to be a little tricky. If you have one of the older ones, there is not a public restroom in the car, but every accommodation has a toilet. Roomettes do not have an enclosed bathroom, so if 2 people are in a roomette, one may have to leave while the other one goes. If you're in the new Viewliners, which are very nice, I was in one recently. It's one with a wood interior and I believe it would be burgundy upholstery. Those have one public bathroom for all the roomettes, and they no longer have bathrooms in the roomette. But the bedrooms still have bathrooms. Number 16. Once again, we talked about this before, but are there showers for passengers with Amtrak rooms? And yes, there is. It's kind of fun taking a shower going 79 miles per hour down the tracks. And as I said before, bedrooms have a small room that houses the toilet and shower. Number 17, still on the shower idea. What does Amtrak provide for showers? And I think that's a great question, and it'll help you pack, knowing what to pack. Amtrak provides washcloths, towels, and soap for your shower, but not shampoo. The soap is either liquid or bar. The bar soap is basically like what you get in a hotel room. So if you need something fancier than that, you will have to bring it. If you need more washcloths, towels, or anything like that, you just talk to your sleeping car attendant. So here's an experienced traveler tip. One soap that I love to use for traveling is Dr. Bronner's Magic. I don't think it's called Magic Soap anywhere, but Dr. Bronner's soap. It's available at a lot of places like Target and grocery stores, Amazon. But it works well for travelers because of its versatility. Dr. Bronner's soap works well to clean you, your clothing, and it comes in a few fragrances. It's environmentally friendly, and a little bit goes a long way. It's great because it is kind of an all-in-one soap that works great for traveling. A lot of travelers use it quite a bit. All right, this one has a limited audience, but it is important if you are part of that limited audience. Point number 18, or question number 18, can I smoke on the train or transport marijuana? I realize that is two separate questions, but I put them into one at one point when I updated this article. All Amtrak trains are non-smoking, and that includes e-cigarettes and vapes. If you get caught smoking on the train, the next stop will be your last stop, even if it is your destination. And conductors will issue tickets, which are federal fines, and those passengers once again forfeit any refunds. I will tell you this: if you do smoke on a train and think you're being tricky and hiding it, the whole car does know when somebody smokes. I was in coach, but somebody opened up the vestibule window, which you're not supposed to do, was smoking outside, and within seconds, the whole car smelled of cigarette smoke. As I said before, there are some smoke breaks, but they're not guaranteed, and they're not always convenient. So if you're a smoker, it'd be wise if you could find something that could curb your craving. Now, back to the other fun one, marijuana. You cannot transport marijuana on Amtrak trains, even if it's legal for the state you are coming from or visiting. Amtrak is under federal jurisdiction, so marijuana is still against federal rules. So if you're traveling across Colorado or I believe California or even parts of Illinois, whatever the states are, I'm not too up on that. If you're transporting it, you could get in trouble. And like I said, you're in federal trouble, not just local trouble. Number 19, can pets travel with me in Amtrak rooms? Yes and no. So if you follow me on Facebook or on Instagram or read some of the articles, you know currently I got a big fluffy puppy. Well, she's 7 years old and about 130 pounds, Abby the Newfie. As much as I would love to bring Abby the Newfie on the train, A, she hates stairs, so that's a problem to begin with. But two, she is too big for Amtrak's pet policy. Amtrak allows pets on the train who are under 20 pounds and in a cage, but they cannot travel longer than 7 hours. Go to the article, travelswithkev.com/Amtrak -rooms. And on there, I do have a link to Amtrak's pet policy for service animals. If you do have a work animal, make sure you check with the policy before booking your trip, just to make sure everybody's on board. Tip number 20, do I tip the car attendant? This I never thought was so controversial. I actually have a whole article about tipping on Amtrak, and I had somebody responded, I don't tip on this, why would I tip there? And as I said in the article, and I'm about to say, tipping is not necessary, but it's a great way to reward excellent service. If you don't want to tip, you don't have to. It's up to you. I will tip a great car attendant, but I don't tip if it's unsatisfactory service. My recent trip on the Cardinal, I had an amazing car attendant. She brought all my meals to my room. She was able to bring me a few extra things that I asked for. with my meals, and I gave her a little bigger tip than I planned on, but she went above and beyond for me, and her friendliness was great, and she brightened my day. This has been more of the exception to the rule. I've had bad service where I've basically been forgotten the whole trip, and in that case, I don't tip. So it is optional. It's appreciated. Car attendants usually get tipped, and the meal service people are the typical people who receive those gratuities. Question 21. Can I contact Amtrak for a compliment or complaint? Constructive criticism is helpful, and the praise of an employee is even better. Try to put this in the show notes. There is a form to fill out to contact Amtrak about amazing employees. And with talking with a friend of mine who works for Amtrak, by doing this, compliments actually go to their supervisor, and their supervisor gets it to them. So it's not just, you're not just doing it for nothing. They actually do get the compliments, and they can get rewards for it. Okay, we're done with the questions, but I do have Kev's tips for Amtrak rooms. These are just little tidbits to think about. One is getting ready for the night. Once a car attendant makes up your room at night, there's not much room left in a roomette. There's a little bit more in a bedroom. So it may help to get dressed before your room is ready at night if you need a little bit more room. Or you can go to the shower room. In the shower room, there's the shower, and then there is a changing room. So you could use that as your attendant prep room for the night, or you could use the restroom. But I think the easiest for me has just been to change before they make up my room. What else do you need to know? Take advantage of the fresh air stop. Getting off the train breaks up the trip and allows you to stretch your legs. I often do it. There's been a few trips. The last trip I took, I didn't get off the train, but had a few things going on. But it can be a nice way to break up the trip, and you can meet new people. The other thing, do not plan on Wi-Fi, even if the train says it has Wi-Fi. Stuff happens. I always look at it, if I have problems with my router at home and it's stationary, why wouldn't Amtrak have problems on the rails and it's moving? There are just dead spaces, some of the routes. Recently when I was on the Cardinal, the conductor came on, if you need to do anything electronically, download anything, do it now, because we're not going to have Wi-Fi or cell signal in about 20 minutes. And Amtrak Wi-Fi uses cell signal, so if you don't have a signal for your phone, Amtrak can't get a signal either. So just keep that in mind. As I always remind people, and myself, Wi-Fi is not a right. It's a luxury, and you're not paying for it. So, and a few other things, a little bit on train manners. Be respectful of others. Talking to fellow passengers is fun, and it's a great way to meet new train buddies. But not everybody wants to hear your loud conversations late at night, so keep your voices down. Room walls are not that thick. Just remember that when you're doing things in your room. When walking to other parts of the train, remember that there are other riders as well. You may have to make way for others or temporarily invade somebody's space, so be considerate. There's been a few times when I've had to duck into somebody's roomette as somebody else passed. So just remember, every once in a while that could happen to you. And remember, most of these are shared spaces, so if you're in the lounge car, share the table. Don't table hog in the lounge if it's busy. If you can't sleep and it's the middle of the night and you want to work on your TSP reports, you can take up a whole table. But if it's busy, try to be considerate of others. If you need to make long phone calls, especially at night, try going into the lounge car or between cars so others can sleep, especially if you are a loud talker. And again, the walkways are tight quarters, and you may get bumped into as you let others pass. So just be aware that could happen. And as you're walking through the train, too, with your luggage, be cognizant of where your luggage is so you're not banging into others, especially at night. It's more so with coach. I've been woken up as somebody smacked me with their bag. If you're interested, I have a few articles about entertainment on Amtrak, another article about boarding trains. So if that's the kind of information that you're looking for, head over to the website and search for those. I might have them in the show notes. Those are other articles that kind of go along with this one that can help you out. That was a lot. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I accidentally took a break from podcasting, and it's taken a little adjustment to get back into it. If you found value in this, if I helped you out, you can consider going to travelswithkev.com/value. There's also, if you are considering supporting Travels with Kev and you want to do it on a monthly basis, there is a Patreon being set up. It's almost set. I'm still tweaking it a little bit. Levels start at $5 a month, and at $5 a month, you get a postcard from me once a month. And then the further up you go, there are webinars that you receive, and at the top level of $15 a month, while supplies last, you get an Amtrak comfort kit, and also you get one for getting at the level. And you can also get personal time with me. So I will spend about 30 to 45 minutes with you and help you work through your trip. So I hope this all helps you out. I appreciate all the kind notes I've been getting from the listeners and those who go to the website. I appreciate it. It makes me feel good knowing that I'm able to help and to serve others. And that's what I'm setting out to do. I want to help other people travel. I know when I started, it was kind of a struggle for me. Amtrak's website only goes too far, but it's written by copywriters and not necessarily travelers. And at that time, when I started, there was an Amtrak forum, and now there's Facebook groups, and the negativity that was just in there, or just people like to complain or whatever, it was just too much for me. And my whole goal is just so you don't have to deal with that. I will deal with that for you and try to get you the most up-to-date information that I can. So that's all I have. I feel like I'm rambling, so I should probably wrap things up. So thank you for visiting. Thank you if you made it to the end. And I'm going to hand it over to my niece, Little Mac. And safe travels and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Travel with Kev podcast. Bye.